I'm Max, and I play Reepicheep the Mouse and Narrator 2.
Hello, I'm Matthew, and I play King Caspian.
Hello, I'm Michelle, and I play Lord Roop.
Hello, I'm Sierra, and I play Narrator 1 and Eustace.
Hello, I'm Wayne, and I play Sailor 1, 3, Rhinold, and Drinian.
Hi, I'm Adam, and I play Sailor 2.
The Voyage of the Dawn Treader is the fifth book of the Narnia series by C.S. Lewis. This book is about a girl, Lucy, and two boys, Eustace and Edmund, who find themselves in a magical world called Narnia after jumping through a mysterious painting in Lucy's bedroom. There they meet an old friend, King Caspian of Narnia, and accompany him on his journey to the end of the world where he searches for 7 lost Narnian lords.
The scene that we will be acting out is when King Caspian and company journey to the Dark Island, an enchanted island where dreams come true.
Suddenly, from somewhere, no one's sense of direction was very clear by now. There came a cry, either of some inhuman voice, or else the voice of one in such extremity of terror that he had almost lost his humanity.
Ah!
Caspian was still trying to speak. His mouth was too dry, when the shrill voice of Reepicheep, which sounded louder than usual in that silence, was heard.
Who calls? If you are a foe, we do not fear you. And if you are a friend, your enemy shall be taught the fear of us.
Mercy, mercy! Even if you're only one more dream, have mercy! Take me on board, take me! Even if you strike me dead. But in the name of all mercies, do not fade away and leave me in this horrible land. Where are you? Come aboard and welcome.
There came another cry, whether of joy or terror, and then they knew that someone was swimming towards them.
Stand by to heave him up, men!
Aye, aye, Your Majesty!
Several crowded to the port bulwark with ropes, and one, leaning far out over the side, held the torch. A wild white face appeared in the blackness of the water, and then, after some scrambling and pulling, a dozen friendly hands had heaved the stranger on board. Edmund thought he had never seen a wilder-looking man. Though he did not otherwise look very old, his hair was an untidy mop of white, his face was thin and drawn, and for clothing only a few wet rags hung about him. But what one mainly noticed were his eyes, which were so widely open that he seemed to have no eyelids at all, and stared as if in agony of pure fear.
Fly! Fly! About with the ship and fly! Row! Row! Row for your lives away from this accursed shore!
Compose yourself and tell us what the danger is. We are not used to flying.
The stranger started horribly at the voice of the mouse, which he had not noticed before.
Nevertheless, you will fly from here! This is the island where dreams come true!
That's the island I've been looking for this long time. I reckoned I'd find I was married to Nancy if we landed here.
And I'd find Tom alive again! Fools! That is the sort of talk that brought me here, and I'd better have been drowned or never born. Do you hear what I say? This is where dreams, do you understand, come to life, come real, not daydreams, dreams!
There was about half a minute's silence, and then, with a great clatter of armor, the whole crew were tumbling down the main hatch as quick as they could, and flinging themselves on the oars to row as they had never rowed before. And Drinian was swinging around the tiller, and the boatswain was giving out the quickest stroke that had ever been heard at sea. For it had taken everyone just that half minute to remember certain dreams they had had. Dreams that make you afraid of going to sleep again, and to realize what it would mean to land on a country where dreams come true. Only Reepicheep remained unmoved.
Your Majesty, are you going to tolerate this mutiny, this poltroonery? This is a panic. This is a rout.
Row! Row! Pull for all our lives. It's your head right, Drinian. You can say what you like, Reepicheep. There are some things no man can face.
It is, then, my good fortune not to be a man. They were rowing back to the light as hard as they could. It would be all right in a few seconds. But oh, if only it could be all right now. Though the rowing made a good deal of noise, it did not quite conceal the total silence which surrounded the ship. Everyone knew it would be better not to listen, not to strain his ears for any sound from the darkness. But no one could help listening. And soon everyone was hearing things. Each one heard something different.
Do you hear a noise? Like a huge pair of scissors opening and shutting over there?
Hush! I can hear them crawling up the sides of the ship.
It's just going to settle on the mast.
Ugh, they're the Gons beginning. I knew they would.
Caspian, trying not to look at anything, especially not to keep looking behind him, went aft to Drinian.
Drinian, how long did we take rowing in? I mean, rowing to where we picked up the stranger.
5 minutes, perhaps. Why?
Because we've been more than that already trying to get out.
Drinian's hand shook on the tiller and a line of cold sweat ran down his face. The same idea was occurring to everyone on board.
We shall never get out, never get out. He's steering us wrong. We're going round and round in circles. We shall never get out.
The stranger, who had been lying in a huddled heap on the deck, sat up and burst out into a horrible screaming laugh.
Never get out. That's it. Of course. We shall never get out. What a fool I was to have thought that they would let me go as easily as that. No, no, we shall never get out.
Look! There was a tiny speck of light ahead, and while they watched a broad beam of light fell from it upon the ship, it did not alter the surrounding darkness, but the whole ship was lit up as if by searchlight. Caspian blinked, stared round, saw the faces of his companions, all with wide, fixed expressions. Everyone was staring in the same direction. Behind everyone lay his black, sharply edged shadow. In a few moments, the darkness turned into a grayness ahead, and then, almost before they dared to begin hoping, they had shot out into the sunlight and were in warm, blue world again. And all at once, everyone realized that there was nothing to be afraid of, and never had been. They blinked their eyes and looked about them. The brightness of the ship herself astonished them. They had half expected to find that the darkness would cling to the white and green and gold in the form of some grime or scum. And then first one, and then another, began laughing.
I reckon we've made pretty good fools of ourselves.
Lucy lost no time in coming down to the deck, where she found the others all gathered round the newcomer. For a long time he was too happy to speak, and could only gaze at the sea and the sun and feel the bulwarks and the ropes, as if to make sure he was really awake, while tears rolled down his cheeks.
Thank you. You have saved me from... But I won't talk of that. And now, let me know who you are. I am a Telmarine of Narnia. When I was worth anything, men called me the Lord Roop.
And I am Caspian, King of Narnia, and I sailed to find you and your companions who were my father's friends.
Sire, you are the man in all the world I most wish to see. Grant me a boon.
What is it?
Never to bring me back there.
He pointed astern. They all looked, but they saw only a bright blue sea and bright blue sky. The dark island and the darkness had vanished forever.
Find themselves in a magical world called Narnia. This book is about a girl, Lucy, and two boys, Eustace and Edmund, who find themselves in a magical world called Narnia after jumping through a mysterious
appeared in the blackness of the water, and then, after some scrambling and pulling, in the blackness of the water, and then, after some scrambling and pulling, a dozen friendly hands had heaved the stranger on board. Edmund thought he had never seen a wilder as quick as they could, and flinging themselves on the oars to row as they had never rowed before. And Drinian was slinging around the tiller, and the boat's rein was giving out the quickest stroke that had never been heard at sea. For it had taken everyone just that half-minute to remember certain dreams they had had. Dreams that make you afraid of going to sleep, or dreams come true. Only Reepicheep remained unmoved.
Oh.
Only Reepicheep remained unmoved.
One more time.
Then first one, and then another, began laughing. Island and the darkness had vanished forever.